Hey, what's your keepers, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we'll talk to you about how my streams actually finish my plants. So one of the things is that I think for those who have been following me for some time, you can actually see that you can actually see that this tank over here, I have changed the plant, and the reason is because the previous plant did not make it because the streams you can see is really overpopulated over here. There's a lot of streamlets, and they are actually trying to rip off the plants as much as they can because there isn't sufficient biofilm, sufficient food in there. So even if we feed them constantly, it's not sufficient. So that's the reason why we use the ball over here. And over here we wanted to come to the topic today is that you can actually see that this plant again, it is really in a very sad state. So this plant is actually the same as the one on the right in the past, where we have them here, but because of the growth is not fast enough for the streams to actually consume, they do not really consume the live plants. But however, because the plants are not doing that well and the growth is not that fast, the streams actually started to, you can actually see they start to consume, and the brown leaves start to come and things like that. And even with this ball over here, that is to actually try to sustain the amount of streams in the tank. And there's a lot of questions regarding the usage of the ball. Pardon, there's some background noises if you can actually see, because we are actually checking on some of the electrical wattages on the aircon, and the reason is because there will be some power cut off over the next couple of weeks, and we are actually trying to prepare in terms of what we actually need in terms of running everything over here for a day without power. I think without power for a day, I think that is fine, but I think we also want to take precautions and things like that. So coming back to this topic on why the streams are actually eating all the plants over here, the reason is because there isn't sufficient food, and no amount, because streams are scavengers, so no amount of food you actually feed will be sufficient for them. So that's the reason why we need to have external source of biofilm for them to actually graze on. So even when we have like sponge filters and even with green wall, it is still insufficient as well. Pardon, this filter is floating because what we are actually trying to do right here is that we are upgrading our discharge system, and it's kind of like messy in that sense. And what we are going to do here is that I'm just going to go around here and let you guys see. Over here you can actually see that this is a plant, and this tank actually you can actually see that this tank start to have a lot of streams, and then they start to consume. Like I mentioned, they do not consume the plant itself. However, it inhibits the plant to actually grow. The reason is because it is constantly harassing the plant until a stage that the plant doesn't do really well. So what we're going to do right now, is a bit messy actually here, because we are still in the midst of doing the tank setup, and this is the calyx ball that we have soaked. So what we're going to do right here now is that just going to pan over here and put it down. Normally I would just use a net to do this, but let's see. I'm going to drop this, and we're going to come back later on this one. So we're going to come to this tank over here. So we're just going to talk about these 4 tanks, these 4 tanks over here. This tank, we are using the co-op filtration. So far we have noticed that there is babies, streamlets. You can actually see, I think, some of this, some streamlets, and they are perfectly fine in terms of being in there with the co-op filter. So they do not, even if it's porous, it's very big in terms of the hole, but everything works well, so that's fine. And coming back to this again, like I mentioned, you can actually see that the plant is in a very sad state. So what I'm going to do is that I'm also going to use the Aponogeton Madagascar lace plant to actually, you know, you're going to change it, and so that it will look better. So in future, all this, you know, all this over here, all these filters, I'm going to change it slowly over the next few years to the co-op filters, and the reason is because the co-op filters, they are, you know, this air lifting is really good. It helps a lot, and it's actually much better in the sense that instead of running two pipes, tubes over here, I'm actually going to reduce it to one. So this has a capacity of 20 gallons, or, you know, about 80 liters of water. So I think this will be sufficient in that sense, and also it's going to be, it provides a much cleaner look. And in terms of maintenance, I'm yet to actually go through that as well. Oh, there's a lot of noise up there. So, all right. So actually over here, you can actually see that, you know, the streams are actually coming to the bore, and it's actually going to help in terms of the management of biofilm and the creation of biofilm as well. And the reason for also using this bore is actually, you know, for example, if we want to sustain a colony of streams like that in a tank, most often we need to actually have a lot of plants, or, you know, to have that kind of food source for the streams to actually consume. And that's the reason why we use this biofilm bore, so that we don't have to, you know, add so many plants and mosses and everything as well. So we can also use it as a way to control the population. Like for example over here, if we want them to breed as much as they can, definitely it will be something that you can consider to introduce as well. So for tanks like this, you know, the usage of the bore is not necessary at this point of time. However, when we start to get more and more, like those below, then definitely you will be, it will be beneficial if you add them as well. So for example, one of the things that we wanted to breed is the center, which is a fairly common stream. And once they start to have babies and things like that, then I will start adding the bore as well. So this is how I kind of like manage the population of the stream, and how I actually do it, and the reason why I want to do it this way as well. So for example, the black fancy as well, we have put in the bore, and the red devils as well. So these are some of the kind of the things that I actually do in that sense to actually help or to promote the growth and the breeding cycle of the stream as well. Because one of the things is that if we don't breed them fast enough, you know, it's going to cause a lot of problems in the sense that, you know, you may not be able to actually get the desired results or the next generation in that sense. So it is very important to actually have that first, you know, especially when you buy a new stream, right? You buy a new stream and you want them to breed, and that's, I think, one of the most critical things, because if you are not able to breed them, then chances are you may not get the next generation. So the utilization of the biofilm bore, the water parameters and all that, these are very important and critical steps to actually help as well. I have got some questions from breeders saying that, you know, they purchase some streams, but however they are not successful in breeding them. And the thing is, they are not successful in breeding them. More often than not, there is always a step or guidance in the sense that the kind of like the seller is supposed to actually share with you what is actually required to actually get them breeding. And the reason is because they are supposed to be the one that guides you, so that when you purchase a stream, you actually also purchase the promise that they will breed as well. So you're gonna hold the sellers accountable in that sense, to give you that vital information on breeding stream, especially if you are new to this hobby. If you have been breeding for a long time, you know what needs to be done, then definitely you can actually purchase and don't ask. However, I think a lot of people are not very sure, because, like for example, if you're going to get this from another source, water parameters are different, even though the values are the same, but the water is going to be different in that sense. And that is the reason why I think it is very, very important for kind of like the sellers to actually educate the end user or the end purchaser, because without that vital information, then you are not going to breed them and you're going to lose or be discouraged or things like that. And that's the reason why a lot of times when I get streams, I will definitely breed them out first, so that I am convinced myself. If I'm not convinced myself, then I'm not actually going to do or going to sell the streams as well. And the reason is because if I'm not convinced of the stream outcome or the output, how am I going to get past my own mental barrier to actually let go of the stream? I have tanks that when I breed out, it is completely disaster. It isn't the stream that is supposed to be. So what I do is that I just simply use it as a project or things like that, but I do not release it. So it's kind of like the buck stops with me. So I am responsible for the next generation. I am responsible for the community's interest, and of course the quality of the stream as well. So that is I think that is the main difference, or the main driver why I'm doing what I'm doing, to make sure that the streams are doing well. Going to pan this around, and then you can actually see that only until a certain stage, when I'm very sure that the streams and the output are consistently well, then I will then start to release the stream. And that is also one of the key critical important things, is because if, for example, over here, if we can use just as an example, if for example over here you can see that the streams are all kind of like more or less the same, then we are very sure that the line for this one are very stable. If the line is not very stable, then I will then definitely share that it is not very stable. So for example, the black fancy, you can see that the black fancy, I'm just going to zoom in and just let you guys see. So from high level perspective, you can actually see that all the babies look similar. Similar in the sense that they are at least black. Of course, it depends on the quality as well. But however, you can actually see that the output is consistent. So having an output that is consistent is vitally important, because what we want to know is that is the lineage going to be stable? Is it going to be the same? Like over here, we can actually see that the PBLs, they are all fairly the same, and the output is consistently the same. So that is what we want in terms of stream breeding, because of course new streams, they are not going to be as consistent. However, for very mature streams, we already know that there is a opportunity to have them with a more stable lineage, so that you can actually breed them better. So I'm just going to pan this camera around again. You can actually see that even the common ones like the red stardust, they are fairly similar in the sense, and they do not throw out funny little different types of colors or streams. And that is also important because, like I've mentioned, the only time that I'm able to actually kind of like get through or sell the streams is when I can convince myself that the stream has been doing really well. So yeah, just maybe a small little update that we are going to test this out is that we're going to do this discharge pipe. It's going to be a test. We have gone through some of these pumps, and we are actually trying to get the correct pump to actually fit this process. So once this is done, we are trying to target if we can actually get a water change in one tank per tank to be around maybe 20-25 seconds each. That will actually help to drive efficiency and end-to-end process. So I think that's really what we want to share with you guys this video. And if you have any comments, any questions, please remember to put it down below. And what I normally do is that I will capture all these questions and then put it up on maybe YouTube Live or things like that, because it is going to be very, very tedious for me to go through each and every question and then reply each and every time, because some of the questions are repetitive, and it will be best if, let's say, we share these replies or these comments or this information sharing during the live session, because that will actually help in terms of it's not going to be one way. It's going to be like a two-way kind of a discussion as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. For those who like this video, please remember to give a thumbs up, and for those who are new, please remember to subscribe, and until next time, peace out.